What if I told you that this is not Kleenex, and that these are not Kleenexes, and that whoever's calling this Kleenex is lying to you? What if I took it one step further and told you that this is actually a product of war? Okay, this isn't war propaganda or anything, but war does help us explain how Kleenex became such a huge brand. I mean, I even remember it being on my school supplies list growing up. And it gives us an insight into how different market forces have shaped the product that we use every single day. For starters, this is not Kleenex. This is actually called a facial tissue, but the brand name Kleenex is so big that everyone just calls it a Kleenex. I mean, take the competitor Puffs, for example. Try going to a store and asking for a box of Puffs. Hey, excuse me, do you guys have Puffs?
Puffs?
Yeah, Puffs?
What do you mean puffs?
I don't know, like Puffs? These sorts of products are called proprietary eponyms or genericized trademarks, and it's essentially when a product becomes so big and dominates the market so much that the name of that brand becomes the name of the product itself. In some ways, Kleenex was lucky. It was the first to enter the market. But like I said before, this story takes us back to World War I, when the Kleenex was first used as a gas mask. Back then, a Neenah, Wisconsin-based company that's like around here somewhere called Kimberly-Clark invented something called Cellucotton, a miracle material designed to replace standard cotton, which had become scarce during the war. This crepe paper was used as a filter in masks, filtering out toxic gas, saving lives, and keeping soldiers breathing easy on the battlefield. Don't use your Kleenex as a gas mask, please. But then the war ended, and Kimberly-Clark had warehouses full of this Cellucotton. And if you're a smart business person, you're not just gonna let that go to waste. So Kimberly-Clark goes in and says, hey, what if we took all this material and turned them into disposable makeup wipes? That's right, Kleenex was first born as a beauty product, first appearing in 1924 as Kleenex, the sanitary cold cream remover. Clean because you're meant to use the wipe to wipe your face and keep it clean, and then X because I guess it sounds cool. Now this is when we really see people influencing the product, because consumers started writing letters to Kimberly-Clark saying, hey, those makeup wipes that you all sell, we're actually using them for our colds. And unlike all those angry tweets that we see on Twitter, and yes, I still call it Twitter, the company actually listened, and by 1930, Kleenex was rebranded as a disposable handkerchief, which is a lot better than carrying an actual handkerchief around with you, and then like sneezing into it, and then putting it in your pocket, and sneezing into it again, and then it's just kind of nasty. And that brings us to their slogan, don't carry a cold in your pocket. Or in other words, don't be that guy, you know, it's the 1930s, get with the program. And just like that, sales exploded, because it turns out sometimes the market knows what it wants way better than the inventors. All right, let's zoom out for a second. We know how Kleenex got from the trenches of World War I to where it is today, but how did this specific Kleenex get into my hand? On its face, the answer seems simple, right? You go to the store, buy a box, pull a tissue out whenever you need it. But if we take a closer look, we'll realize that this tissue is actually a miracle of the modern marketplace. This little square that probably costs fractions of a penny actually represents a symphony of supply chain, innovation, and human creativity, which involves millions of people across multiple continents. And what's even more amazing is that not one single person is making it happen. Not one single person or entity actually makes a Kleenex. Don't believe me? Let's consider the facts. Let's start with the basics. First, spruce fibers from Canada. In the north, Canadian loggers harvest spruce trees, chosen specifically for their long, soft fibers. These fibers are what give Kleenex their signature strength, but that's just one half of the recipe. The other half? Eucalyptus from Brazil. On the other side of the world, Brazil produces eucalyptus trees with shorter fibers, which add to the softness of a Kleenex. It's a perfect duet. The spruce brings the structure, and the eucalyptus brings the velvet touch. Now we can't just put two and two together and get a tissue. This is where the factories come in, from places like South Carolina, Connecticut, Oklahoma, and Ontario, Canada. And all of this happens without a single person orchestrating it. This is emergent order in action. Millions of people, from loggers to transporters, engineers, factory workers, each contributing their skills without ever meeting. Think about it, the logger in Canada might not even hear of eucalyptus. They're not picking up the phone and asking someone in Brazil, hey, how much eucalyptus are you guys making this year? They're simply responding to their buyer's requests, and that's how they decide how much spruce to produce each year. Yay! The engineer designing machinery in South Carolina probably doesn't know a thing about Ontario's production schedule, and they don't have to. And somehow, someway, you can still go to the store, pick up a box of Kleenex, and not even think about how it got there. Through the magic of free markets, Kleenex harnesses the ingenuity, effort, and know-how of countless strangers all over the world who don't even know that they're working together to create this one household convenience. And where does all this effort go? Into a product that is sold in over 150 countries worldwide. Kleenex is as much a part of a home in Kansas as it is a pharmacy in Cape Town or a hotel in Tokyo. Let's take it back for a second. Remember that World War I cotton shortage? The world was in a panic. Cotton was being used for uniforms, tents, and bandages for soldiers. It was a scarce and precious commodity. But what did markets do? They stepped up. Innovators and entrepreneurs were looking for alternatives, and they came up with solutions, ultimately transforming scarcity into abundance. And Kleenex isn't just a product, it's a cultural phenomenon. When your brand becomes the name for that entire product category, that's how you know you've shaped the world. So what's the lesson here? Free markets didn't just make the Kleenex possible, they made it perfect. From a battlefield necessity to a cultural icon, Kleenex proves how supply chains, innovation, and customer demand come together in ways that no one single person could ever plan. And that's the magic of emergent order, and that's the miracle of free markets. So the next time you grab a tissue to blow your nose, remember that this tissue isn't a tissue, it's a Kleenex, and it's a testament to what happens when creativity meets freedom.